This ship bears the name Discovery. Never has that been more fitting or more prescient. She has carried us into the future, and it will be our privilege to make that future bright.
One of your Earth emotions.
Glad I found you.
Let's get married.
Delete the wife.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Deep Space Love, the Star Trek podcast where a married Trekkie couple discuss love in all its forms across the final frontier. I am one of your hosts, Joe Praska. You will hear Nicole in a little bit here, but it's just me in this blank, empty void of podcasting space to intro what we're going to be talking about. We got the very exciting and special opportunity to chat with a personal hero of ours, Mr. Doug Jones. Star Trek fans will know him as Mr. Saru from Star Trek Discovery. But he is a prolific creature actor who's been in countless things that we've all loved, from Buffy the Vampire Slayer to Hellboy to Shape of Water to Pan's Labyrinth. So many great things. We got the chance to chat with him and Derek Maki, who is a producer on the upcoming documentary Get Me Doug Jones. Now, Get Me Doug Jones is a feature-length documentary that essentially seeks to find out how an actor and mime went from humble beginnings in the American Midwest to becoming one of Hollywood's most sought-after performers when it comes to creating fantastic creatures in full-body makeup and costumes. The documentary itself looks to not just cover his prolific career, but his just like unique and really personal relationships that he's built with colleagues, fans, and family. And those of you who probably met Doug at like a convention know how just like genuinely sweet he is. And I truly believe that comes through here as well. Just an absolute delight to chat with. Now, we also chatted with Derek, who is producing the film. He's the creator of Cool Water Productions. And Derek is kind of an indie filmmaker. He made the film Instant Dads in 2005, which can be found on Amazon. He also recently produced another documentary called Aliens Expanded about the second film in the Alien franchise, Aliens. And he actually got to interview James Cameron for that one, which we talk a bit about, which is kind of cool to say. So we talked to both of them about the film and just kind of about Doug's career as well. And it was absolutely exciting. Really enjoyed it. It was a big moment for us. We kind of did this as part of our other podcast, Frankenstein's Podcast, but we decided to kind of cross-post to both our feeds here to sort of get to more ears. So you'll hear myself, you'll hear Nicole, and you'll hear our friend Khalid Hussein, who has guested on Deep Space Love in the past, but is our regular co-host on Frankenstein's Podcast. Anyway, so if you're interested in learning more about the documentary, we will talk about it, but go to getmedugjones.com. There is a new Kickstarter that's starting to help kind of get the finishing touches on it. And if you decide to contribute to the Kickstarter, there's all sorts of cool like goodies like signed scripts, signed photos, toys, posters, DVDs, all sorts of great things and goodies. So if you're interested, please definitely check that out. Anyway, we'll put all the links in our show notes so you can follow that. But otherwise, if you just Google Get Me Doug Jones, you'll find all the stuff. Follow them on social media, Instagram, all the socials. Anyway, all of that being said, I think it's time for us to hop on over to the interview itself. So without further ado, please listen on for our chat with Derek Maki and Doug Jones. Thank you two for joining us. I just wanted to individually thank you, Derek Maki. I know that you are the producer of this film that we're going to be talking about. You're an actor, director, and creator of Cool Water Productions. I wanted to say I really enjoy the slogan. I was looking at the website, "Don't wait for Hollywood to make your film, do it yourself." I thought that was fun. In our show, we kind of like to celebrate like indie spirit, and like we have a lot of like small creators and creatives who talk about specifically monster movies usually. So I really appreciated that. Just for listeners, you also created the film in Instant Dads, which is on Prime. I was reading about that. That looks really exciting. And I was really interested to hear about your documentary work, which you're kind of moving into. It seems like you did Aliens Expanded with James Cameron, it sounds like, right?
Yes, I was able to get James Cameron to do an on-camera interview, which is unprecedented. So I'm very proud of that.
You should be. That's
And
amazing.
I'm proud of everything that I've done. I moved to Hollywood to be rich and famous like everyone else, thinking it would be on camera. And I went to film school, so I know, what it takes to make a film. And production has just been another avenue to be creative with, because as well as running my appearance management company, I basically have no life. If I was an actor and having to learn lines consistently for a sitcom, I'd be in a lot of trouble. But it isn't to say that that wouldn't continue in some way. But right now, the path is, these documentaries. My film Instant Dads. Thank you for mentioning it. I'm so glad when people prepare for stuff. I'm very proud of that film. I was nominated for Best Picture 5 times on the film festival circuit and won the honor twice.
Congrats. Yeah.
That's no small
Congrats.
feat for an independent filmmaker. And I had a distribution deal for it originally. It had a 10-year deal with a proper studio. I never saw a dime. And when the rights reverted back to me, I went to Amazon and actually had to fight for Amazon to put it under my production company name, because they're like, well, we show that it already has a distributor. And I had to send them copies of my contract, termination papers, the whole 9 yards, and explain to them that company doesn't own it anymore. It's actually my project. Like, I'm the owner. So then we got it set up, and now we're on the Amazon platform properly. And I think I make like 50 cents every other month on it. So it's awesome.
Hey, there we go.
That's your
Amazing.
money.
Dreams of being rich and famous came true.
Yeah.
There you go. And then
At a meter. Hey.
And then we also have Doug Jones, actor, mime, contortionist. You're honestly, I just say this right out the gate. One of the inspirations for us creating this podcast, which is specifically about like monsters and creature effects, is kind of what we go on. I mean, hopefully people listening to this, I'm certain know who you are, but Buffy, Hocus Pocus, Hellboy, Shape of Water, Pan's Labyrinth, Star Trek Discovery, what we do in the shadows, just so many things. It's truly an honor to like chat with you. One of the people behind this podcast that's not on screen right now is our artist Jim Tamberg, and he mentioned to me when he was doing the art for this episode, he's like, make sure you tell Doug that he inspired my artwork when I first saw his creatures. So it's a thank you both of you for being on this, and we're really excited about the documentary. And I wanted to ask you right away, just tell us a little bit. This could be for both of you, how this film, the documentary "Get Me Doug Jones," which is coming out, I'd say relatively soon, but kind of in the process of being created and produced. How did it come to be, and why did you guys decide to make it?
That was not my idea, by the way. I didn't say, you know what, we should have a documentary about me, Never said. Derek has been my appearance manager for about 18 years, so he handles the part of my career that is not film and television. He handles the live in-person meet and greets, signing events, conventions. And so we've been through a lot of life together on that circuit, and so we kind of become family over that time, and been through a lot together. So I will let him explain like why he wanted to make this documentary, because again, I didn't want it. In fact, I told him no twice. Go ahead.
Yes, he did. He turned me down twice. And then when I ambushed him on the third time, he'll tell you about in a minute. So in the 18 years that I've known Doug, I have been able to celebrate highs and lows with him. He's invited me to red carpet premieres, which is an honor and it's exciting for me. I've also had him a few times cry on my shoulder when we've been on the road because he got some bad news from a studio about something that happened with a project that he wasn't happy about or expecting. And so to be able to see this man who's just the biggest heart, the kindest human that you'll ever meet, go through all of these machinations to live his dream and never get any accolades for it. That's where the initial thought for this documentary came into play for me. Is I wanted to do a love letter to Doug that the rest of the world could see, so they could see the man that I see, and that it's not all about being rich and famous. It's not all about not being able to walk into a Starbucks and, oh, can I have your autograph? There's so much more going into being a celebrated personality, and especially one like Doug, where it's, you're not just a hired actor who's given a script and learns his lines and regurgitates them on screen. Doug has done a lot of his performances, not all, a lot of his performances under all that makeup, which is what he's become synonymous for. That's the right word, right? Synonymous, infamous,
No,
famous.
not infamous. Famous for?
No, no. I mean, look, that's but the Get Me Doug Jones. That's kind of the key of the title of the movie is everyone in Hollywood that needs an actor to bring to life a character. That's what they do. They go, well, get me Doug Jones because he's the one that does it. He'll do anything we ask and he never complains. But at the same time, when he does that, he doesn't have a golden statue sitting on his mantle. He's not getting the accolades and the praise that he deserves, in my opinion. So this film, my love letter to him, is basically his digital accolade. So earlier I made this joke to him, but I love this idea now. I'm actually going to get a gold disc made of the final DVD. And I'm gonna put it on a little stand so he can put it on his mantle, and that's going to be his
Finally have my
accolade.
trophy. Okay,
Oh.
okay. That's sweet. Thanks. Well, he like I said, twice he asked me about this. I said, "Oh no, no, please, no, there's nothing to document here." And the third time was the story he asked me to tell you was we were in Las Vegas for the Star Trek convention just a couple years ago. We've gone every year for a few years now, but he texted me, "Hey, before we go down to the floor today, stop by my hotel room. I want to talk to you about something." I get to his hotel room and I am ambushed with he's there with the director, William Conlon. William Conlon is a director who give him the pitch.
So William directed a documentary that I watched on Amazon called Making Apes, and it's a documentary all about the makeup effects and the storytelling of the original Planet of the Apes films back with Charlton Heston and Roddy McDowall. And
Mhm.
I loved William's ability to tell a story within a documentary and not just have it be talking heads. I was blown away by it. I'm a huge documentary fan, partly because I hate reading. But I love behind the scenes. I love historic documentaries just to learn about people and to have, go behind the curtain. So after watching it and after Doug turning me down 2 times, I went, okay, well, all I got to do is hire that guy and praise him, tell Doug how much I praised him about this guy's ability to tell a story. And that's basically what I did in the hotel room is I gave him that pitch and he went,
Okay. So, so with that kind of pedigree of a filmmaker coming into the team, and also I also made the request that day. I have given interviews ad nauseum about my career, bullet points of my IMDb list. Okay, I've done. It's been talked about. If we're going to do a documentary, I wanted to include something that these podcast interviews don't do, and that would be get into who was Dougie Jones back in Indiana, and how did he become Doug Jones today? And there's a lot it took a village to get me here. And so we want to interview all the villagers. So that would include my family. Have 3 older brothers. I've got sisters-in-law. I have nieces. I have brothers-in-law. I have, oh my goodness. And then friends of 30 years plus that have been along the ride with me the whole way. We even got a chance to interview my high school drama teacher.
Oh.
Oh, this was gorgeous, right?
totally unstaged.
Yeah, yeah, she is. I grew up in Indiana, but she's retired in Florida now with her husband, and we got to catch up with her in Florida. And she and I had not seen each other in over 40 years. So to greet each other on camera for the first time in that long of a time was just we're screaming, we're cupping faces, we're, giggling, we're holding hands. We're like, oh my gosh. And she showed up to that interview with a folder with newspaper and magazine clippings of things that I've been in over the years. It was like, okay, all right, here goes. Right. Yeah. No, she was an absolute delight to catch up with. And I got to tell her on camera how much she meant to me. And she's loomed so large in my life because she was the first person who ever knew what to do with 14-year-old Dougie, with his hopes and dreams being, an actor. She was the first person who could make those dreams come to life on stage. She gave me characters to do in plays, and she directed me and made something of me at that early age and gave me the inspiration to keep going. So I was able to tell her that that's something you don't get in a typical interview. That's so the documentary is going to delve into those kind of stories. That's what I'm most excited about.
What a treat. We love teachers here. Joe's a teacher.
Oh, there you go.
Question for you both. What are you hoping fans will take away from their experience when watching the documentary or after watching the documentary?
Hmm.
I want people to see what I see in Doug, that he's not just a celebrated personality, but he's a real human being, and that even though he's gone through hell and back, he's still here and he's still as gracious as he will ever be to his fans. And I want the world to see this amazing human being. So hopefully they will.
Thank you. And gosh, again, this is so humbling and almost embarrassing. Like this is too much talk about me. But anyway, my hope is that any younger people watching this documentary can walk away going, well, if some scrawny kid from Indiana can make his dreams come true, maybe I can too. That's kind of how I hope to inspire that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So my question is for Derek. You mentioned working with William Conlon. I just wanted to know, especially since you yourself are a director in your own right, handing over the reins to something that you clearly have a passion and vision for. What was it like collaborating with William? Did he bring anything to the production? Was it anything that surprised you?
Well, this is so funny. So in between our last podcast and this one, Doug and I have like a 10-minute break, and we were literally just talking about this exact subject, not 5 minutes ago.
It's
The
fresh.
Yeah, and the actual, it's like the universe is it
Yeah.
just knows. So I told Doug, I'm glad I'm not William because I can't even imagine what it's going to take to edit this together. I joke with William because I say we're going to have three cuts of the film. We're going to have the theatrical cut, 2 hours. We'll have the 4 hour director's cut, and then we'll have the 6 hour super duper pooper executive producer cut. At the,
Nobody's going to watch 6 hours of me.
no,
Just
no, it's going to just be.
Beg to disagree.
oh, bless you, Kelly.
But so I can tell you this, handing over the reins was not easy because I'm a bit of a control freak. I like to be the center of attention. I am the boss. Ask anyone that works for me. I'm very difficult. So handing over the reins wasn't easy. We had several conversations about it, but the actual agreement came as this, is that I wasn't actually handing over the reins, that this was a collaborative effort. William wanted to tell this story as badly as I did. When I sat down with him and explained what I wanted and was passionate, and I took him to dinner, and the dinner was maybe supposed to be an hour and it ended up being like 3 hours long. And it was me just raving about this man and William going, I have to tell this story. I have to tell this story. And it's like, he's like, please hire me. Let me help you.
Mm.
So, and then everything since has been collaborative. Everything is, what do you think of this? I'll send him something, he'll send me something. And it's all, I love it, I love it. I don't love it, I don't love it. How can we make it better together?
Mm.
None of it has been egos getting in the way yet. I hope that it continues that way. He's just been a gem to work with. He's got a big heart and a true spirit. And I think his love of Doug is also what's helping to contribute to that because look, again, I was so impressed with his film Making Apes. Yeah, I'm a director, but everyone has a different style of directing. I could not tell this documentary the way that I want it told if I was in charge because my type of storytelling doesn't go in that direction. It's hard to explain it if someone doesn't understand what producing and directing is. William gets it, and so I want him to tell the story. So I'm like, William, just this is the reason I'm hiring you because I watched that and I watched other things that he's done, and it's like that you have to tell the story. I don't have that ability. So it took a lot, but I'm happy and we're moving on. I mean, we communicate every day basically via text or a phone call. When he gets tired of me not responding to him, he's like, we need to have a video chat. And I always think that he's going to yell at me and quit, but it's always like, no, no, Derek, I just need your attention for a minute. And it's like, okay, got it, let's talk. So yeah, it's not a handover, it's all collaboration.
That's really great to hear.
So Doug kind of gave us a preview of some folks who might be appearing in the film, at least from his life. Derek, do you have any other, you know, preview of like who else we might see in the documentary talking about Doug?
Well, it is still in process, by the way. So
Hmm.
that means that there's still some interviews yet to get. So he'll only tell you the ones that have actually been filmed.
Fair.
The ones who are on deck to be filmed can't guarantee that that those will happen. So,
Right. Yeah, I've been
Of course.
very strategic with anything listed on IMDb
yeah.
is when it is in the can. Their interviews are completed and done. Because look, actors, especially celebrated personalities, actors, they might get a movie, they could have a medical or a family emergency. We're scheduled to shoot tomorrow, and then they call me on the 11th hour and go, "We can't." Well, if we don't get to reschedule them, they're not in the film. So
Yeah.
we're not putting names out there that are not actually completed. And some of the names Doug doesn't even know. Like we've literally reached out to everyone that Doug's ever worked with, and so far it's been yes for Doug will do anything. We haven't had any no's yet, which is great. But yeah, if you want to see everyone that's in the film so far, if you go to IMDb, put in "Get Me Doug Jones," everything's there. And I release pictures from each of the shoots, so that the actors' pictures there with me and William together. We do a 3 shot, and yeah, we're trying to keep it very straightforward. I don't want surprises. That's the thing. I don't want Doug. We want Doug to be surprised with some of the things. So it's like he'll get to see it before everyone else does, and he'll get final say. But some of what we're getting, he won't know till that first time he watches it, because we want him to be surprised as well.
Mm. But some highlights for your listeners here would be my Hellboy co-star Ron Perlman, already in the can. Also, my co-star and the lead actress of Star Trek Discovery, Sonequa Martin Green, the lead actor of Falling Skies that I was on for 3 seasons, Noah Wiley, also Emmy winner
Wow.
for The Pit.
Wow, yeah.
Um, let's see, my co-star from What We Do in the Shadows, Harvey Guillen, who played Gear in the show. And that's just some actors, and then we also have the creature effects makeup people like Tony Gardner, who created my Hocus Pocus makeup for Hocus Pocus 1 and 2.
Awesome.
We also have David Kirshner, who was the writer producer of Hocus Pocus.
Hmm.
And the list
The
goes on.
list goes
It
on.
goes
Yeah.
on and on.
Of course.
Those are some little highlights since you asked.
Some heavy
Yeah.
hitters.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
All right. So my next question is for Doug. As we have mentioned already, you're a performer that has been lucky enough to play many fantastical and novel creatures throughout your career, and usually that comes with being asked to do some interesting or unusual things, such as walking on stilts, or my personal favorite, having to keep bugs in your mouth.
Uh,
Um, my question is, have you ever just said no to anything? And if so, what?
No. How's that for an
Ooh.
answer? I
Wow.
said no, no.
Get me Doug Jones.
Yeah, honestly, if it's humanly possible to do, I will do it. But now I'm 65 years old now, so I'm saying no to entire projects now more often than I have before. I have to get more picky in my old age. And I am seeking now, leaning more into human characters. Over the last couple of years, I've been playing almost exclusively humans. Now, I'll never say never, which means if the right role, the right director, the right paycheck comes along, then yes, I'll go back under rubber bits again. Especially like say a Hocus Pocus 3 comes up and asks me to come back as Billy again. Of course I would. So but for now, yeah, it's all about the humans and I'll say I'm saying yes to an awful lot of those too. But again, I love being at this place in life where I'm not desperate.
Yeah.
Young actors, we say yes to everything because are they paying? I'm in. And then you sell your soul to do something that may be objectionable to you in some way. But I don't have to now, and that's a really nice place to be in.
Thank you.
This question kind of plays into that a little bit, maybe, as far as like, products you'd like to do or things you say no or yes to. But both you can answer this since you've both been fortunate enough to work with, some of these bigger names in the industry, both in front and behind the camera. Um, is there anyone in the current landscape that you'd love to collaborate with for the first time?
Well, a director that I've never worked with before but would love to is Ron Howard. Uh,
Oh,
Good
yeah,
answer.
I was a big fan of his as Opie on the Andy Griffith Show back in the black and white era. Yes,
yes.
and then he was Richie Cunningham on Happy Days. So he's kind of grown up just ahead of me. He's a little older than me, And so when I saw the movie Splash with Tom Hanks, so it's Tom Hanks's movie breakout,
Hmm.
Daryl Hannah as well. When I saw Splash in the movie theater and saw the directed by Ron Howard, I'm like, that's Opie from Mayberry. What? Uh, and I love the movie so much. I'm like, well, if he can make that kind of movie, I want to work with him. And then everything I've seen of his ever since then has been like, oh my gosh, I really want to be directed by him one day.
I've actually been lucky enough in my career. I actually got to work with one of my heroes, director Irving Kershner, who directed The Empire Strikes
Wow.
Back,
Mm.
Box with Barbara Streisand.
Hmm.
He was a documentary filmmaker in and of himself. Amazing. He was a client and friend of mine who became my mentor and actually helped me with my film Instant Dad. So I've gotten to do, like, not everyone can say that. Kirsch didn't just delve out, hey, you want me to help you with your movie? And he did it to me. We were at dinner in London at an event we were at, and we got to talking, and I never really want to ask favors of my friends and clients. And he was just asking me, like, so what have you been up to? And I told him, well, blah, 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 and I'm making this movie. He's like, what? And tell me all about it. And I told him, and he goes, well, when you think you've got it in the can, you're going to bring it to me, and I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to tell you how to make it even better. And that's exactly what he did, almost to the point where I didn't want to finish it. He made me cry, but he was brutally honest with some stuff. But the man, rest his soul, he's not with us anymore, but I am honored and cherish every moment that I had with him, and I would never give anything back or let anything go to have him have been part of my life and career.
And when it comes to actors, I would like to be in a movie with Anthony Hopkins and Judi Dench. If I could be
So,
like
Ooh.
their mailman,
Ooh.
I'd be the happiest thing.
Wow.
Great choices. Thank you.
Those are really fun choices. I actually feel like we have down in the basement where we are right now, we have a artwork from Splash on our wall.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we got
Oh,
this like
wow.
painting from one of the scenes. It's a really fun one. And
Awesome.
also speaking of Irving Kershner, I just recently watched Eyes of Laura Mars. That was really good too.
Oh.
So
yeah.
it's fun that you brought those two up. I like, yeah, great answers. I have a question for this is probably for Doug specifically about like makeup and prosthetics. One of the things that I've always been drawn to about watching you perform is kind of your ability to like emote under those heavy prosthetics, right? And I'm specifically thinking about like your ability to kind of sell a romance, which I think would be challenging, like with Shape of Water with Sally Hawkins. But one thing that comes to mind too is in seasons 4 and 5 of Discovery with the relationship with Tara Rosling's character. I just thought like there was so many just like really touching, sweet moments between Saru and Tarina, and quiet like moments that were like melding diplomacy and romance, and it just like I was like I'm just amazed by what you're able to bring to that. And I'm just wondering like what's it like to try to approach sort of a love story under creature makeup?
Well, you don't think about the creature makeup. You
Mm,
really, it's a romance is a heart-to-heart connection, and it doesn't matter what's on your face.
yeah.
So I think that a misconception that I've gotten from a lot of fans out there is that, oh, you must really have talented elbows to do what you do. Well, my elbows get involved, but they're inspired by the heart and soul. So I take in the character's wants, needs, loves, desires, motivations, and I have to internalize that before it can come out of my limbs and before my elbows can get involved, right? So when it comes to connecting, well, and Sally Hawkins and I, boy, in The Shape of Water, we did all that non-verbally too. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have a fish suit on, but I was also couldn't say a word, neither did she. So we had to sell the love story through connecting, and we give off so much dialogue visually that we don't not even aware of. Our body language, our touch speaks volumes, and so that's all we had to rely on. So we had to use it. And with President Tarina, played by the lovely Tara Rosling in Star Trek Discovery, she and Saru were very, very verbal back and forth, very diplomatic and very well spoken, both of them. But also then Saru's covered in a layer of rubber. Uh, but I had my own eyeballs with contact lenses in, so we actually had eye to eye contact, which played back and forth. Speaking of Judi Dench, she's like a young Judi Dench. She's that good. Tara is
Wow.
just amazing. In fact, we called her Judy on set just to razz her because she showed us up every day. It's like, oh, thanks, Judy. Yeah. Now the camera's on me. Great. I got to follow you. Yeah. So she was very easy to connect with because when you meet her eyes, something very real is happening. So that's where the love comes from.
I love that. I love that.
See,
Um, kind of question for this could be actually for both of you. We've mentioned a ton of your like, some of your really bigger, more prominent, famous roles. Is there any like smaller, like creature or not roles that Doug maybe you wish more people talked about or saw, and maybe Derek one that you really was as like, yeah.
yeah. Do you know, I did a remake of Nosferatu that
Oh.
we did it years and years ago, but it didn't come out. It came out on Amazon and Apple TV. Um, 2 months before the big Robert Eggers Nosferatu with Bill Skarsgård in the same role, who was hotter and younger than I am. I get it. Okay, whatever. So, but very different films. Their Nosferatu, Robert Eggers, kind of did his own imagination on it, and it was gorgeous. And they even invited me to the premiere, so I did get to go because I was talking about their movie so much while doing press for mine, because I wanted to make sure everybody knew that we're not to be confused with that one, which is a very different movie. Our Nosferatu was a scene for scene replica of the silent film, in fact, with new actors, dialogue, and sound and his musical score, but all done in front of green screen so that they could put the old movie behind us. So I got to act in the same environment that the original Max Schreck did in the title character. So it's an art piece, and I really really love it. And it's living. I think it's still on those two platforms I just mentioned, but it's also living on Tubi for free now with some ads. But if you look up Nosferatu Doug Jones, you'll find it. Um, another indie film I did years ago that I really liked, like Human, that was called My Name is Jerry, and I played Jerry, a middle-aged white guy going through a midlife crisis, which I am and have done. And so I totally understood this character. Jerry was I would call it a dramedy. So you kind of like little bit of romance sprinkled with some family drama, sprinkled with some goofy comedy. And I had an absolute ball making it, and that lives on the YouTube for free in its entirety now. If you look for My Name is Jerry, you'll find it.
For me, on a personal level, on the acting side, I did a movie called The Last Exit, and my scenes were short, but it opened the movie, and I got killed by a werewolf. And I'm very involved with the director on wanting to bring the fear and the reality to life. And I was able to convince the director he didn't want the werewolf to be seen till much later in the film. But after and I had worked with the director before, and I said, listen, I said, you're missing a key moment in this movie. And I said, look, if you want it to be seen later, maybe move my scene. But I said, I want to have an aliens and Sigourney Weaver moment where, like in Alien 3, when the alien creature is face to face with her and the fear that she had. I said, we need to do that with this. And he went, I love it. We're shooting it. And we worked a long time. We drove the crew crazy because it was all unscripted. They're like, he's like, nope, Derek wants to do this, and we're gonna find a way to do it. And the guy in the suit was like, it was so heavy, and he's like, this is but the scene is probably one of the best acting performances that I've ever done, only because when that thing was in my face, I was genuinely scared. Like I thought the kids, it's a werewolf and I'm dying. So it was incredible. And he kept it in the beginning of the film. So that was cool. That's my own little perk. But for Doug, my favorite performance of Doug's and my favorite film of all time, it took the place of The Empire Strikes Back, is Pan's Labyrinth, and his performance as Alfano was one of the most amazing, iconic performances that an actor could ever give in his lifetime.
Oh, God bless. Thank you. Mm.
It was part
Agreed.
of the inspiration of this film, just so that you know. So should we tell him
Wow.
that?
Well,
Well, I mean,
sure,
how can we not now that
sure,
I just said that, right?
sure.
So I'll set it up and then
You
you
set it
finish.
up, and I'll knock it down. Okay.
So I had seen Pan's Labyrinth probably 4 days before I went to Germany for a convention. And I was very upset because my family and I went to the theater to see it. And I'm like, oh my God, it's in subtitles. I'm going to have to read this. And I'm a filmmaker, and filmmakers shouldn't say that,
No, I
right?
should not.
And I'm like, oh. So I ended up only reading the film halfway through because I actually got so caught up in the visuals and the story that I didn't need to read it, and I was able to understand basically the majority of the film. I loved it. I was blown away. Flash forward to 4 days later, I'm in Germany at a convention with some other clients, and during one of my breaks, I was roaming around because I like to go look at toys and I like to look at the other guests at the event. And I came up to Doug's table. Doug happened to be a guest there. And I'm looking at the table and I'm like, hmm. And then it was like, oh, that's the fawn from that movie I just watched. This is you? This is you? And he's like, and I'm like, this is amazing. And so over the weekend, Doug and I kind of became fast friends, and at all the dinners that we went to, like the promoter took us out, whatever, we'd sit together and then we would just chit chat. And one of the stories he told, which is why I'm making the documentary, is this story about Guillermo and his decision to be in the movie.
Well, when Guillermo sent me the script, this would have been my third movie with him. All right, so I've done six now, but he sent me the script. Dougie, have a look at the Pan's Labyrinth. So I read this script and it was like by the last page, I'm wiping tears, going, "Oh my gosh, I have to be in this film. It's beautiful." And then he says, "Okay, great. It's going to be in Spanish." I don't speak Spanish. I told him you've got the wrong guy. You need a Spanish actor? You can't. I'm going to ruin your movie. Don't hire me. What actor would say that, by the way? I'm an idiot. So he's like, no, 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 no. You can, I can, you can count to 10 for all I care, and I'll double over it later. But you have to play the phone. So I was like, oh God, why would he do that? I couldn't. I think he did. I think he knew that I wouldn't count to 10 because I couldn't live with my mouth going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in these and then have to dub that over in Spanish without it wouldn't sync up, right? So I was like, oh gosh, I can't leave that performance on the floor. So how about, and I couldn't have an 11-year-old actress, Ivana Baquero, respond to me with counting to 10 in English, and she was a Spanish, first language actress. So I buckled down, I learned the language of the film, and I was word perfect when the cameras rolled. And it was hardest thing I have ever done, memorizing paragraphs of exposition, important dialogue in a language I don't speak, while wearing a 5-hour makeup application with heavy mechanics and up on stilts. I was 7 feet tall, and all the complications that come with that, in addition to my brain having to be very on point with the dialogue as well. So that was the hardest thing I've ever done. And also I played the Pale Man in that movie too, which was a 6-hour makeup application with no dialogue, thank heaven. But that was a second little, in the middle of the shoot. That was I was there for about 2 months in Spain filming this, and one week we filmed the Pale Man scene. And I forgot, I was like, oh, right, that guy. Oh, whatever. Guillermo, why are you such a cheap ass? Why do I have to do two characters for the price? So, but then come to find out, that was the most amazing set and the most iconic scene of the movie was, was on magazine covers and has been in memes and YouTube, parodies and all kinds of things. So I'm like, okay, I get it. He wanted me to be the creation of the fonts, and I get it. I get it. So anyway, so that's
I've never forgotten that story from the day I met him. It was the second day you told me that story, and I've never forgotten it. And wanting to be an actor, and watching every other actor I've admired over the years, Robert De Niro, Meryl Streep, Jack Nicholson, do interviews. You never hear them tell stories about stuff like that. Meryl Streep probably the closest. She would do anything because she's brilliant.
Brilliant. Yeah.
But to be able to learn a language specifically so that you don't break the art piece. Again, it's collaboration. He wasn't going to ruin Guillermo's movie. Can you imagine watching Pan's Labyrinth and the mouth wouldn't line up? It would take you completely out of it, whether you were reading it or not. It would take you completely out of the vision. Never watch Pan's Labyrinth with American dubbing. I watched it once. I watched it.
Did they do it?
They do it on the DVD. I watched halfway through and I'm like, nope, this is not Pan's Labyrinth. Click, we're done. You can't do that. So Doug believed in a piece of art so badly and so deeply that he went through hell to make it a reality. And Guillermo, everyone's like, oh, you must owe your career to Guillermo. Well, you know what? A little bit, Doug might, it's the opposite because of Doug.
Well, you can say that. I certainly can't.
Oh,
Yeah, toast me, man. Yeah.
so yeah, no, it's just it's flawless. Doug's an amazing actor.
Oh,
Doug is
bless
an
you.
amazing, an amazing, an
You
amazing.
see why this is so humbling and embarrassing for me?
Uh,
uh,
it's a cool story.
Yeah,
It's a great story. I think that was one of our first date movies.
It was.
was
Yeah,
it?
Pan's
Oh,
Labyrinth. Yeah,
that's
it's
sweet.
a heavy one.
yeah.
And
I hear that about The Shape of Water too. People tell me that was a date movie for them as well. In fact, I was in an airport in a security line a couple years ago, and I had a couple that was saying, "Excuse me, are you Doug Jones?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, hi. Oh, well, our first date was watching was watching The Shape of Water." And I said, "Whoa, that's so sweet. Where are you guys headed now?" "Oh, we're on our honeymoon." Like, okay, okay, it's because of me that they got married. Okay, I can.
You had a hand in it. Yes.
There
Yeah,
you go. Making magic happen.
that's right. That's right.
Well, if I can continue to embarrass you just a little
Oh
bit,
dear. I was young. I needed the money. What are you going to ask?
so we have a segment on our regular show when we're reviewing movies and talking about the creature effects. I have a fun little segment at the end called Fight or Flirt, where I ask, would I fight or flirt with the creature that we're talking about to survive? You know, usually they're monsters killing you, what have you. So instead of fight or flight, what would I do?
Sure.
So my question modified for you two is which of Doug's characters would you fight with and which of Doug's characters would you flirt with? And they could be the same answer. I'm curious for both of you.
Ah, ah. Um, for me, I would fight the leader of the gentleman from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, from the Hush episode when I played
Yes.
tore people's hearts out. He was the most evil thing I've ever played in my life, even worse than the Pale Man from Panama. Yeah, I would fight the Buffy gentleman. I would flirt with. Can I pick two?
Yes.
Of course, Doug.
Absolutely.
I would flirt with the amphibian man from The Shape of Water, because he was so beautiful and so romantic. But I would also flirt with the Silver Surfer, right? He had
Yeah.
they put a body on me that was like, okay, I could never do this in the gym. So you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, Doug stole my answer. Surfer. Oh. So yeah, Silver Surfer flirting with the Silver Surfer. Yeah, without a doubt.
It's a good one.
And I mean, because if you see the behind the scenes footage and like they do like you like I mean the ass and the it's
It
just
was
the chiseled jaw.
I had to give them back every day though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, sorry about the sweat. You know, yeah.
So yeah, and fight. Oof, that's
Mm.
a tough one because most of your characters they're not evil. They I don't want to fight anybody that you've been. Okay, how about what I don't remember the name, but the one from the strain.
Oh,
The
the ancient character, the ancients.
No, I got it.
Oh,
I would fight the Angel of Death because you don't know if it's a good guy or if it's a bad guy. You know if it's a
Mm.
boy, you don't know if it's a girl.
Angel of Death from Hellboy 2.
You
Yeah.
couldn't get
Ah,
Oh,
because it's got eyeballs everywhere. So
that's a good one.
that would be a challenge. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Great answers. And thank you
Yeah.
so much for indulging us.
Real good answers. Real good answers. Yeah.
We talked more about my ass than I thought possible, but yeah, thank you.
back to the film. Question for you, Derek. What's the plan for release scene, if there is one? And how can individuals help support it? And expect to see it.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So, first and foremost, I have to say this to everyone. As an independent filmmaker, this is unprecedented or it's rare. We were able to raise the majority of the funding for principal photography all on our own through private funding and angel investors, which I'm very proud of. So we've been all over the world filming. So we've been in across the United States. We've been in London, Ireland, Sealand. That takes money and it's been great that we were able to do that. Now we're at a point, we're in the home stretch, so the goal of the film is to get it in movie theaters, whether it's going to be small art houses like the Alamo Draft House or the Lamley theaters here in LA, or on the big silver screens nationwide at, AMC theaters. To do that, what we need to do is get into film festivals. A studio like Warner Brothers or Fox needs to see us and say, we're going to write you a check. We want to buy this masterpiece. If that doesn't happen, no problem. My goal is we're going to get it in all those art houses on a limited run. So, 1 or 2 weeks and that's it. And then it'll go on streaming. It'll go on streaming regardless if a studio owns it or us, because that's where everything ends up nowadays.
Yeah.
And William and I, so William's film Making Apes, my film Instant Dads, it's already on Amazon. We already have distribution deals with Amazon. So automatically it'll be on Amazon. That's a no-brainer. And then the idea would be to get it on all the other platforms. The release will be sometime in early 2027. And right now, the home stretch of photography, principal photography, is as follows. So we have to finish the film. So we've got music rights that we want to buy. We've got to pay a composer. We've got to pay an editor. We've got to pay to have it color corrected. We've got to pay to go to film festivals. When everyone sees all the actors going to Cannes, they think that Cannes pays for all that. They don't. The studio pays for that. And so we want to go to Cannes, and we want to go to Sundance, and we go to every festival out there. That takes funding. So what we're asking everyone who has heard our little pitch of this dream film, this love letter to Doug, if you'd like to make our dream a reality, me and William, we're asking people to help pitch in to finish the film. We have a crowd finishing campaign that starts on May 18th, which is this coming Monday. It'll be on Kickstarter. We have rewards or perks that you can purchase for as low as $25, and they go all the way up to like 10 grand. We also have a button that's for angel investors. So if you're not interested in getting perks, you can just do an angel investment. You'll get your name in the credits, and then you help us make our dream a reality. Doug has been gracious enough to donate from his own personal archives some of the perks that are being offered that include things such as some of his original shooting scripts from Star Trek Discovery and What We Do in the Shadows. He also has given us 2 prosthetics of Saru from Star Trek Discovery, and nearly every cast member that we've interviewed that Doug has worked with has graciously signed a limited number of special photographs or special posters that'll all be offered on the platform, as well as exclusive items like pins, t-shirts, signed copies of the DVD, and so forth. So if you'd like us to help finish the film, please do. You can go to getmedugjones.com. That's the official website of the film, getmedugjones.com. You can also follow us on social media, Instagram and Facebook, at getmedugjones. Follow us on IMDb. Put us on your watch list. Get Me Doug Jones. It's all the same. And if you can't afford to back us, don't worry. Spread the word. Tag us, like us, repost us, and then when films are in theaters, buy your ticket, and that'll be great. So whatever you and your followers can do to help us, we deeply appreciate it. I just need this story to be out there because this man is an amazing human being. So
thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, we want to watch that story.
I can't wait. And we will share all of this links with our fans, and on our social medias, we'll share it as well as much as we can. I know we're bumping up on that 45 minutes, so I just want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat with us on behalf of all of us and Frankenstein's podcast. It was just a joy to talk to both of you.
You guys have all been so lovely. Thank you so much for having us and giving us your time, too.
Yes, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Best of luck on the rest of the film.
Yeah, thanks.
Again, what an absolute exciting delight that was to chat with those guys. This was super fun. Thank you so much, all of you, for listening. Thank you to Doug and Derek for coming on the show. If you want to check out more, again, go to getmedugjones.com and find the link in our show notes for the Kickstarter if you want to support. It's a cool project. I hope you guys are interested enough to check it out. And since it's just me again in this blank void, no Nicole to close us out. I will say it. Until next time, love long and prosper.